President Donald Trump's threat to take out terrorists in Nigeria, if Nigerian government failed to do so, has shaken the Tinubu administration. And the Tinubu administration is making a lot of sacrifices. How far can Tinubu go in sacrificing people so that to show Donald Trump, United States and the world that Nigeria is about to get it right? The Mohammed Badaru, the former governor of Jigawa State, is gone as the Minister of Defense. He has been sacrificed as part of the process to convince Americans and to show the world that Tinubu means business about doing what Trump wants to be done to take out the terrorists. He has been sacrificed, and General Christopher Musa, the Chief-of-Defence Staff that recently was sacked by the other service chiefs, is making a return as a Minister of Defense. It is not for nothing that it is Christopher Musa that is coming back. It is all about Tinubu trying to show the Americans that he's ready to show some balance in the architecture of Nigerian defense establishment. Don't forget that Badaru is a Muslim. The Minister of State for Defense is a Muslim, Matawale. Already there are pressure on Tinubu to sacrifice Matawale, who is having a lot of baggages that ordinarily many believe that he shouldn't be in government with that kind of baggage. It's not only that, even in the Senate Committee Chairman on National Security, Senator Shehu Buba Omar, APC Bauchi, has been sacked by the Senate. And he's alleged to have been under the radar of United States intelligence agencies over alleged links to bandits, terrorism, and all that. And he has been alleged to be in bed with some of these terrorists, and that he even sponsored them. That was some people are alleging on pilgrimage. Now that he had been sacked as part of the administration's cleanup, that it will give unfettered access to investigate politicians' relationship with alleged terrorists and bandits. So, and the sacrifice that Tinubu is making can go even a whole hog and might even affect the Vice President of Nigeria, that Tinubu may also have to sacrifice him ahead of 2027, all in the effort to give balance in his administration and to convince the Americans that Christians are not being persecuted or genocided as being alleged by the American government. Okay, so the big question is, how far can he go? Already he has sacrificed Mohammed Badaru, the Minister of Defense, who has resigned. Of course, you know that that man couldn't have resigned because he was not healthy. If you believe that, then you can believe anything. If you believe that Mohammed Badaru resigned because he was sick because of his health, that man is even much more, he looks much more healthier than several other people we know who are in government. So that doesn't hold water. He has to be sacrificed so that Christopher Musa can come in. Okay, of course his own situation was not also helped by the fact that he himself, unlike Matawale, they are not people with any knowledge of security. Okay, Badaru is said to be an accountant. Okay, and Matawale a teacher. And these are people who have zero knowledge about defense. Okay, only in an unserious country will you give such strategic positions to people like that to be in charge. But this is Nigeria. Okay, Now, Badaru has been sacrificed. The pressure is now mounting to remove Matawale. Now, Matawale is a special case because there is so much allegation against Matawale. But first of all, before we even go into Matawale, let us show you the kind of person he is, how he thinks about the bandits. Okay, because right now he's a former governor of Zamfara State. He has dealt with banditry that is ravaging much of northwest Nigeria. When he was governor, he spoke about what he think. He revealed his own understanding of the thinking of the bandits. Watch.
It's the same, and it's not all of them are criminal. Not all of them are criminal, because if you know, or maybe if you investigate what is happening or what makes them to take those laws into their hand, some of them sometimes were cheated by so-called Nsakai, and I have to ban completely the Nsakai in my state. The Nsakai, those called vigilante group, who normally went to their settlement, destroy their property and take their animals. So they doesn't have anyone to speak with. So sometimes they are going for revenge. Like if Ntsake attack them, so they will go for the parcels. So that is what exactly happening. And some of them are living in a settlement where close to a village or town, and they sometimes if there is maybe operation, military operation, the military will go and destroy their properties and their animals. So they are angry with such actions sometimes. So
that was Matawale as the governor of Zamfara State. He was at the State House in Abuja when he was talking about the insecurity in his state. And he was saying that not all the bandits are criminals, and you can listen to the kind of defense he was making for them. Now, this is somebody who is the Minister of State for Defense in Nigeria, and that is his thinking about banditry. Okay, so that statement alone, ordinarily, if Nigeria is a country where the right things are done, or the Tinubu administration is an administration that really was not into politics and was ready to recruit people who will do the job, that clip alone ought to have disqualified him from nearing any position as the Minister of State for Defense. But that is the position he is occupying. And now there's a lot of pressure for him to be sacked, for him to be sacrificed, also like Badaru was sacrificed. And as General Christopher Musa is coming in, that he come and meet a brand new Minister of State. But even before we get into that, let us also look at what allegation that the governor of Zamfara State, the incumbent governor of Zamfara State, Daud Alawal, a damning allegation he made against the Minister of State, which also ought to be taken into consideration if you want to clean up the defense establishment so that they can start a new slate to be able to tackle the insurgency that is ravaging Nigeria today. Okay, the allegation that was made against him by the incumbent governor is shocking, but you have to hear it from his own mouth, and then we'll talk about it, and then look at the further sacrifices that Tinubu is likely to make. So watch
There were a lot of issues in the past with my predecessor, in fact, let me say this very categorical. If I were him, I would resign and face all the allegations against me. And that would have been more honorable, because from all the information we're getting, my predecessor was fully involved in some of these banditry issues. Typical is the fact that that was a permanent secretary when his children were abducted. And it was unfortunate that he had to pay ransom through the government house. And it was also very clear, based on all the allegations, that bandits were being kept at government house. There are so many issues. So for me, honestly, if I were him, I would step aside and face this allegation until I clear my name before I come back and continue my job. That should have been more honorable. And how can you imagine all these allegations against him, and he's still the Minister of Defense? I mean, that is unfair. This man could have been honorable, stay aside, face all these allegations, clear his name, and then come back and continue to do whatever he wants to do. Whether he wants to remain as minister or he wants to do something else, that would have been more honorable as far as I'm concerned. If I'm in that position, believe me,
that was the governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, the incumbent governor of Zamfara State, accusing Matawale of link with bandits, alleging that even ransom were paid from the government house, that bandits were accommodated. It was allegedly accommodated under the administration of Matawale as governor, and that if he was the person accused of these weighty allegations, that he would have resigned. Of course, not many people took him serious, especially those in Tinubu's government. You know why? Because Dauda Lawal is from the People's Democratic Party governor making this allegation, and Matawale is an APC chieftain. Okay, and he has been very vociferous in defense of the Tinubu administration, more than any northern minister. So nobody paid attention to this allegation by Dauda Lawal against the Minister of State. But now people are looking at this allegation in a new light as situation is unfolding across the country on this issue of who are the people that are supposed to be in charge, and what do we do as America is breathing down the neck of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he is being forced to do things he ought to have done before, but he didn't do it. Already there are pressure also that Tinubu should sacrifice the National Security Advisor Ribadu. The pressure is also on that angle, that Tinubu need to bring in somebody who had been battle ready to be able to handle the position of National Security Advisor. Okay, that is, National Security Advisor is not a job you give to a retired police officer, that it ought to be to a retired general who understands the nitty-gritty of defense, because you are talking about somebody who is coordinating. You are coordinating. National Security Advisor is coordinating information and making it available to the president from all the armed forces. And they believe that it ought to be somebody who is a retired general. Okay, don't forget that people who have handled this under Obasanjo and the Yaradua and Jonathan and even Buhari, these had been retired generals. of the military. Okay, so pressure is mounted on that angle too. Pressure is mounted on that angle that Ribadu may also be sacrificed so that Americans be able to see that Tinubu is trying to get it right to address the issue of Christian genocide. Beyond Ribadu, there is also what is brewing about whether Shettima should continue to be his running mate in Tinubu's running mate in 2027. This is because one of the things that have been held against the Tinubu administration, even as the Americans are looking at it, is the fact that in Nigeria's political history, there used to be balance at the highest level of governance, which is lacking right now. In fact, when Yusuf Tuga, the Minister of Defense, Minister of External Affairs of Nigeria, appeared in Piers Morgan's podcast. Piers Morgan is a British journalist, top-ranking British journalist. When the Minister of External Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, appeared in that program with another guest, a Canadian politician Goldie, that woman drew attention to the fact that why this is happening in Nigeria is because Tinubu jettisoned the normal parties. The woman confronted our Minister of External Affairs. He said the pattern is that when the president is a Muslim, the vice will be a Christian. Why is that different this time around? Okay, so Tinubu is also believed to have to look at that kind of balance at the highest positions in the country, including the presidency. Don't forget, even Tinubu himself is having the idea that in his second term, he's believed to have the idea in his second term of rejigging that position. That was why when he was being endorsed across the geopolitical zones, including in the Northeast, where Vice President Shettima comes from, Tinubu, there was a fisticuff in Gombe when Tinubu was endorsed by the Northeast stakeholders for second term, and they didn't endorse Shettima. Okay, which led to fisticuff in Gombe. Okay, that action, when it happened, which eventually led to the then national chairman of APC having to be escorted out of the venue, okay, by security agents. The presidency did not, because of that, announce that Shettima will be his running mate. Instead, in a statement by Bayo Onanuga said that the president will announce his running mate when he has formally accepted the ticket of the party, which many found as unusual. But it was an indication that Tinubu is already thinking in that direction of running without Shettima, perhaps running with a Northern Christian. Of course, there are those who are saying there may be political consequences for it, but the position that Trump has put Tinubu, he has to do everything to convince the world, to convince the Americans that he's about to do something different to stop the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, by showing that even himself is thinking about balancing his presidency to reflect the normal structure that had been known over the years in Nigeria. And to show you that what I'm telling you is not a fluke, before the fisticuff in Gombe, when Kashim Shettima was not nominated with Tinubu, or was not endorsed with Tinubu as the candidate of the APC in 2027, there was a meeting of the APC stakeholders. If you're a follower of this channel, you will know that I was the first. This is the first channel. This was the first channel in Nigeria that drew attention to the fact that Tinubu is about to sacrifice Kashim Shettima, because the Borno leadership, the Borno elders, they found out that Tinubu has fallen out with Kashim Shettima and wanted to do away with him in 2027 and run without him. So they held a meeting at the government house in Borno, where they resolved to beg Tinubu not to drop Kashim Shettima, telling Tinubu that Kashim Shettima had been a loyal vice president, and that he shouldn't sacrifice him, and all the excuses they gave. But the strategic importance of that was that the meeting was held at the government house in Borno, in Maiduguri, and that the outcome of that meeting was to beg Tinubu not to drop Kashim Shettima. That meeting took place before the Gombe stakeholders meeting. So it was therefore an expression of anger. You need to watch the face of the governor of Borno State, Professor Zulu, when Tinubu was endorsed without Kashim Shettima. So now this has given with what Trump is looking for, and the Tinubu trying to ensure that Nigeria get it right. It may be a perfect excuse for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to drop Kashim Shettima as his running mate in 2027. There's a lot of sacrifices that are going to be made in the next few weeks, in the next few months, in order to give the impression that things are changing. But they need to change even much more than that, because the Americans are not only looking for structural changes, they are looking for changes in the battlefield. They want to see that the bandits that are causing the alleged Christian genocide are eliminated, that there is no more genocidal killings. They want to see that the Fulani militia who are alleged to be involved in what is going on, the genocidal killings, are disarmed. There are those, they want to ensure that those who are detained, who have been imprisoned as a result of blasphemy laws, are addressed. They want to see that the 12 states that are operating Sharia laws, that the laws are amended to take care of that. It is a tall order. I don't know how far that Tinubu is ready to go, but he is in a spot where Donald Trump is looking for results. I don't know how far he can be able to continue to sacrifice people and how far he's ready to go, but only time will tell. I don't know what to think about the sacrifices that Tinubu is making at the defense architecture, at the security architecture of Nigeria, to ensure that the Americans know that he's doing something to stop the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, so that the Americans will have no business to come into Nigeria to take out the terrorists. But whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.